The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was no longer filled with laughter or mockery. Instead, a tense silence hung in the air as representatives from across the galaxy gathered for an emergency session. The demonstration of the U.S. Thunderbolt's power had sent shockwaves through the galactic community. At the center of attention stood Ambassador Sarah Chen and General Michael Rodriguez. Gone was their earlier submissive posture. Now they stood tall, confident in humanity's newfound position. Zix Nox, the head of the council, called the session to order. His voice, once booming with authority, now held a note of uncertainty. Representatives of Earth, the Council, the galaxy, demands an explanation. How did you achieve such technological advancement in secret? Sarah stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. Honored Council, the answer is simple. We did what humanity has always done. We adapted, we innovated, and we persevered. Murmurs rippled through the gathered aliens. A Zentari diplomat raised a tentacle. But surely, such advancements must have been noticed. Our intelligence networks. Michael interrupted, a hint of pride in his voice. Your intelligence networks saw exactly what they expected to see. While you watched our public space programs, our true advancements were hidden in plain sight. The small gray alien who had warned about underestimating humans earlier nodded appreciatively. Clever. Very clever indeed. Zix Nox's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. And now, what are your intentions? Conquest. Sarah shook her head. No. As we've said from the beginning, Earth seeks cooperation, not domination. We simply needed, to be taken seriously. As the discussions continued, it became clear that the galactic political landscape was shifting rapidly. Species that had once looked down on humanity now sought alliances. Trade negotiations that had stalled for years suddenly gained new momentum. In one corner of the hall, a group of Dreadnought merchants huddled together, their scales shifting colors in excitement. Imagine, one whispered, the profit potential in human technology. Nearby, a cluster of Zentari scientists debated fervently. We must study their advancements, one insisted. Think of what we could learn. Not everyone was pleased with the turn of events, however. A faction of hardliners, led by a warlike species called the Krill, viewed humanity's rise with suspicion and fear. The Krill ambassador, a heavily armored being, stomped towards Sarah and Michael. You speak of peace, it growled, yet you unveil a weapon of unimaginable power. How can we trust you? Michael met the Krill's gaze steadily. The Thunderbolt is a shield, not a sword. We will use it to defend ourselves and our allies, nothing more. As tensions rose, an unexpected voice cut through the noise. It was the small gray alien, its large eyes scanning the room. Fellow council members, it said, its deep voice commanding attention. I have studied Earth's history extensively. Time and again, humans have shown themselves to be formidable when threatened, yet capable of great compassion when treated with respect. The alien turned to Sarah and Michael. Is this not so? Sarah nodded, a grateful smile on her face. Indeed, Earth has no desire for galactic domination. We seek only to stand as equals among the stars. Zix Nox, sensing the shifting mood of the council, raised his hands for silence. It seems, he said slowly, that we have much to reconsider. Our treatment of Earth, our assumptions, they were clearly misguided. He turned to the human representatives. Ambassador Chen, General Rodriguez, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I extend our formal apology. We underestimated your species to our own detriment. Sarah and Michael exchanged a glance. This was more than they had hoped for. We accept your apology, Sarah said, and we look forward to a new era of cooperation and mutual respect. As the session concluded, it was clear that nothing would be the same. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through conquest, but through ingenuity and determination. In the corridors outside the hall, representatives from various species approached the humans, eager to establish new relationships. The galaxy was changing, and Earth was at the center of it all. As Sarah and Michael prepared to return to the Thunderbolt, they knew that this was just the beginning. The real work, building trust, fostering cooperation, and navigating the complex waters of galactic politics, was yet to come. But for now, they allowed themselves a moment of satisfaction. Humanity had made its stand, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The tension in the neutral zone was thick enough to cut with a knife. The U.S. Thunderbolt hung in space, its massive form dwarfing the surrounding alien vessels. General Michael Rodriguez stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the main view screen. "Sir," his first officer reported, "we're receiving a transmission from the Galactic Council." Michael nodded. On screen, Zixnox's face appeared, his multiple eyes blinking rapidly. "General Rodriguez, the Council, requests a demonstration of your vessel's capabilities." A small smile tugged at Michael's lips. "Of course, we'd be happy to oblige." As the transmission ended, Sarah Chen's voice came through on a secure channel. "Remember, Michael, impressive, but not threatening. We want to earn respect, not start a war." "Understood, Ambassador," Michael replied. He turned to his crew. "All right, people. Let's show them what humanity can do." The Thunderbolt's engines flared to life, a brilliant blue glow that seemed to bend the very fabric of space. With a grace that belied its enormous size, the ship began to move. First came a demonstration of speed. The Thunderbolt zipped across the neutral zone, covering distances in seconds that would take other ships hours. It weaved between asteroids, performed impossible turns, and came to dead stops from full speed instantly. The alien observers watched in awe. Their sensors could barely keep up with the Thunderbolt's movements. Next came maneuverability. The massive ship spun on its axis, barrel rolled, and performed a series of intricate patterns that left the watching aliens dizzy. "Impossible," muttered a Zentari captain, his tentacles twitching in disbelief. "No ship that size should be able to move like that." But the Thunderbolt was just getting started. Michael's voice came over the shared communication channel. "And now, with the Council's permission, we'd like to demonstrate our defensive capabilities." After a moment of hesitation, Zixnox gave his approval. "All ships, you may fire at will," Michael announced. "I assure you, the Thunderbolt will suffer no damage." There was a pause, and then beams of energy and volleys of missiles streaked towards the Earth ship from all directions. The assembled aliens threw everything they had at the Thunderbolt. For a moment, it seemed as if the human ship would be obliterated, but then, milliseconds before impact, a shimmering field appeared around the Thunderbolt. The incoming fire splashed harmlessly against it, creating a dazzling light show, but leaving the ship untouched. Gasps of shock echoed across the communication channels. That's not possible," a Dreadnought scientist sputtered. "No shield technology should be able to withstand that kind of firepower." Michael allowed himself a small chuckle. "I believe we've already established that humans have a habit of doing the impossible." As the barrage continued, the Thunderbolt's shields never faltered. After several minutes, Michael called for a ceasefire. "Now," he said, his voice calm, "allow us to demonstrate our offensive capabilities." The Thunderbolt's weapons ports opened. What emerged wasn't the expected barrage of lasers or missiles. Instead, pinpoints of light, barely visible, shot out towards a nearby uninhabited moon. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, to the astonishment of all observers, the moon began to crack. Fissures spread across its surface, growing larger by the second. In a matter of minutes, the entire celestial body shattered into countless pieces. Silence fell across all channels. The destroyed moon spoke volumes. On the Thunderbolt's bridge, Michael turned to his crew. "Well done, everyone. I think we've made our point." As the debris of the moon drifted in space, the implications of what had just occurred sank in for the gathered aliens. The humans, those primitives they had mocked mere days ago, possessed technology that outstripped their own by centuries, if not millennia. In the Council's observation ship, Zixnox slumped in his seat. By the cosmic winds, he whispered, "What have we awakened?" The demonstration was over, but its impact would ripple through the galaxy for years to come. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same. 1 year had passed since the dramatic unveiling of the U.S. Thunderbolt. The galaxy had changed in ways few could have imagined. As the annual Galactic Council meeting convened once again, the atmosphere was markedly different from the previous year. The Grand Hall buzzed with excitement and anticipation. Representatives from hundreds of alien races mingled, their conversations a mix of languages and universal translators. At the center of it all stood Ambassador Sarah Chen and General Michael Rodriguez, no longer outcasts but respected figures in galactic politics. Zixnox, the head of the council, called the meeting to order. His voice, once condescending towards humans, now held a note of respect. Esteemed colleagues, we gather today to reflect on a year of unprecedented change and to look towards our shared future. As Zixnox spoke, holographic displays flickered to life around the hall, showing scenes from across the galaxy. Trade routes bustled with activity, many now protected by joint human-alien patrols. Research stations hummed with shared knowledge, human scientists working alongside alien counterparts. In just 1 year, Zixnox continued, we have seen more progress in galactic cooperation than in the previous century, and much of this is due to our friends from Earth. All eyes turned to Sarah and Michael. Sarah stepped forward, her posture confident but humble. Thank you, Council Leader. Earth is honored to play a role in this new era of galactic unity. Michael nodded in agreement. The Thunderbolt was never meant to be a symbol of dominance, but a catalyst for change. We're pleased to see it has served that purpose. The small gray alien who had first recognized humanity's potential now served as Earth's strongest ally in the Council. It spoke up, its deep voice carrying across the hall. Let us not forget the lesson we've learned. Underestimation and prejudice nearly led us to conflict. Open-mindedness and cooperation have led us to prosperity. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the gathered representatives. Even the once hostile Krill seemed to nod in reluctant acceptance. Zixnox raised his hands for silence. Indeed. And now we face our next great challenge together. The galactic survey teams have detected an anomaly at the edge of known space. It appears to be a wormhole. Excited whispers filled the hall. A wormhole could mean new galaxies to explore, new civilizations to meet. We propose, Zixnox continued, a joint expedition, a mission that combines the best of all our species, and at the heart of this mission will be the Thunderbolt. Sarah and Michael exchanged surprised glances. This was unexpected. A Zentari scientist, her tentacles waving excitedly, spoke up. Yes, the Thunderbolt's advanced propulsion and defensive systems make it the ideal vessel for such a journey. And human adaptability could be crucial in facing unknown challenges, added a Dreadnought explorer. Michael stepped forward. Earth would be honored to lead this mission, but we insist it be a truly cooperative effort. We'll need the best minds and bravest souls from all our species. The hall erupted in cheers and applause. Species that had once mocked humans now clamored to be part of this historic expedition. As the meeting concluded, Sarah and Michael found themselves surrounded by alien representatives, all eager to discuss the upcoming mission. The atmosphere was one of excitement and unity. Later, as they stood on an observation deck overlooking the sprawling galactic capital, Sarah turned to Michael. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" she asked. Michael shook his head, a smile on his face. "Never. We came here hoping for respect. We've gained so much more." They watched as ships from 100 worlds zipped past, the Thunderbolt visible in the distance, a symbol of how far they'd come. "So," Sarah said, her eyes twinkling with excitement, ready to explore a new galaxy. Michael laughed. "Lead the way, Ambassador. The universe awaits." As they turned to prepare for the greatest adventure in human history, both Sarah and Michael knew one thing for certain. Humanity had not just found its place among the stars. It had become a guiding light, leading the way to a brighter, more united galactic future. The mockery of the past was forgotten. The promise of tomorrow beckoned, and humanity, once dismissed as primitive, now stood ready to help chart the course for all galactic civilization. The stars had never seemed brighter or more welcoming. The Earth ship sped through the dark void of space, carrying Ambassador Sarah Chen and General Michael Rodriguez back to their home planet. Inside, the mood was tense. Sarah paced the small command deck, her usual calm demeanor shaken by the events at the Galactic Council. "Those arrogant, condescending," Michael muttered, his fists clenched at his sides. Sarah stopped her pacing and turned to him. "I know, General, but we need to stay focused. Our mission now is more important than ever." As Earth came into view, a blue marble hanging in the blackness, both of them fell silent. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on their shoulders. Upon landing, they were immediately whisked away to a top-secret underground facility. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the world's leaders had gathered in a room known simply as the Vault. President Elena Vasquez stood at the head of a large, circular table. Her face was grim as Sarah and Michael entered. "Report," she commanded. Sarah stepped forward. "Madam President, distinguished leaders," the Galactic Council's response was, "As we anticipated. They see us as primitive, weak, and utterly defenseless." Murmurs of anger rippled through the room. Michael added, his voice tight with controlled rage, "They laughed at us, mocked our technology, our military, our very existence as a spacefaring species." President Vasquez's eyes narrowed. "Then they've played right into our hands." She pressed a button, and a holographic display flickered to life above the table. It showed a massive spaceship, unlike anything Earth had publicly acknowledged possessing. "Operation Thunderbolt," Vasquez announced. "Our ace in the hole." The room fell silent as the leaders took in the sight of the secret Dreadnought. Its sleek design hinted at speed and maneuverability, while the array of weapons visible on its surface promised devastating firepower. "For the past decade," Vasquez continued, "we've been pooling our resources, our best minds, and our most advanced technologies into this project. The U.S. Thunderbolt is not just a warship. It's humanity's statement to the galaxy." Dr. Aisha Patel, the lead scientist of the project, stood up. "The Thunderbolt incorporates reverse-engineered alien tech we've gathered from crashed UFOs over the years. But more than that, it represents innovations that are purely human, ideas and implementations that will shock our galactic neighbors." General Rodriguez couldn't help but smile. "Oh, to see their faces when they realize what we've been hiding." "Indeed," President Vasquez nodded. "But the question now is, how do we reveal our true capabilities? We need to make a statement, but we can't appear as aggressors." The room erupted in debate. Some argued for a direct demonstration to the Galactic Council. Others suggested a more subtle approach, revealing their power gradually. As the arguments heated up, Sarah Chen's quiet voice cut through the noise. "We use their own mockery against them." All eyes turned to her. She continued, her voice growing stronger. "We request a demonstration of galactic military might. A war game, if you will. We'll play the part they expect. Bring out some of our older ships, the ones they'd expect to see." A slow smile spread across President Vasquez's face as she realized where Sarah was going with this. "And then," Sarah said, her eyes gleaming, "just when they think they've proven how superior they are, we reveal the Thunderbolt." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Then, gradually, nods of approval and murmurs of agreement began to spread. President Vasquez stood, her decision made. "Very well. Ambassador Chen, you'll return to the Galactic Council, play the part of the humbled human, and request this demonstration. General Rodriguez, prepare the Thunderbolt and a skeleton crew. When the time comes, you'll give the galaxy a show they'll never forget." As the meeting adjourned, excitement and anticipation filled the air. For too long, humanity had been seen as the underdog, the primitive newcomers to the galactic stage. But that was about to change. In the depths of space, unbeknownst to the arrogant aliens, the U.S. Thunderbolt waited. Soon, very soon, the laughter would stop, and the true age of humanity would begin. The stage was set. The galaxy's mockery was about to backfire in spectacular fashion. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement once again. This time, however, the atmosphere was different. There was an air of smug anticipation among the alien races. They were gathered to witness what they believed would be the final humiliation of humanity. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood before the council, her head bowed in apparent submission. Her voice, when she spoke, was quiet and seemingly filled with shame. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," she began, "we have heard your words about Earth's inadequacies. We request a chance to learn from the great races gathered here, perhaps a demonstration of true galactic military might." Zix Nox, the head of the council, couldn't hide his glee. "Oh, and what do you propose, little human?" Sarah looked up, her eyes meeting Zix Nox's multiple gazes. "A war game, if you will. A chance for Earth to see firsthand how far behind we truly are." The council members exchanged amused glances. This was better than they had hoped for. A chance to crush human pride once and for all. "Very well," Zix Nox declared. "We accept your proposal. In one galactic standard week, we shall gather in the neutral zone for this demonstration." As Sarah left the hall, she allowed herself a small smile. Everything was going according to plan. The neutral zone was a vast, empty region of space, perfect for military exercises. As the appointed day arrived, ships from various alien races began to appear. They were sleek, powerful vessels, each a testament to centuries of advanced technology. Earth's contribution to this gathering was pitiful by comparison. A handful of small ships, clearly outdated even by human standards, limped into view. Laughter echoed across communication channels as the aliens saw what they were up against. On the bridge of the lead Earth ship, General Michael Rodriguez gritted his teeth. "Status report," he barked. "All systems normal, sir," his communications officer replied. "The Thunderbolt is in position, cloaked and ready." Michael nodded. "Now we wait for the signal." The war games began. Alien ships zoomed past Earth's vessels, running circles around them. Simulated battles ended quickly, with Earth's ships being destroyed within minutes. The humiliation seemed complete. Zix Nox's voice boomed across all channels. "Is this truly the best Earth can offer? Perhaps we should end this farce now." That was the signal they had been waiting for. Michael's eyes gleamed as he gave the order. "Thunderbolt, to cloak and engage." Suddenly, alarms blared across every alien ship. Where empty space had been moments before, a massive vessel shimmered into existence. The U.S. Thunderbolt, Earth's secret Dreadnought, had revealed itself. It was a sight to behold. Nearly twice the size of the largest alien ship present, the Thunderbolt gleamed with a metallic sheen that seemed to absorb light. Its hull was smooth, with barely visible seams hinting at hidden weapon systems. Engines pulsed with an eerie blue glow, defying known laws of physics. Silence fell across all communication channels. The aliens were stunned. Michael's voice, calm and clear, broke the silence. "This is General Michael Rodriguez of the U.S. Thunderbolt. Perhaps now we can have a fair demonstration." What followed was a display of technology and tactical prowess that left the alien observers speechless. The Thunderbolt moved with impossible speed and grace for a ship its size. Its weapons, when revealed in simulated combat, showed power beyond anything the Galactic Council had seen before. One by one, in the simulated battles, alien ships fell to the Thunderbolt's superior technology. Shields that had been thought impenetrable were bypassed. Hulls considered indestructible were breached, and maneuvers believed impossible were executed with ease. As the demonstration concluded, the Thunderbolt hung in space, a silent testament to human ingenuity and determination. On its bridge, Michael allowed himself a satisfied smile. Message from Ambassador Chen. Sir, his communications officer reported. She says, the Council is ready to talk. For real this time. Michael nodded. The game had changed. Humanity had proven itself not just a player, but a force to be reckoned with. As he prepared to dock with the Council's station, he couldn't help but wonder what the future would hold now that the galaxy had seen what humanity was truly capable of. The age of human ascendancy had begun, and the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter. The grand hall of the Galactic Council, once filled with laughter and mockery, now stood silent. The alien representatives sat in stunned disbelief, their eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the U.S. Thunderbolt in all its glory. Zixnox, the head of the council, struggled to find words. His multiple eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation in his species. This is impossible, he finally managed to stutter. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood tall, a stark contrast to her previously submissive posture. Her voice rang clear and confident through the hall. I assure you, Council Leader, it is very much possible. What you've witnessed is but a fraction of humanity's true capabilities. Murmurs rippled through the gathered aliens. Some whispered frantically to each other, while others sat in shocked silence. A tall, blue-skinned alien, the same one who had earlier mocked Earth's tin can spaceships, stood up abruptly. This must be a trick, some sort of holographic illusion. General Michael Rodriguez, standing beside Sarah, stepped forward. I assure you, it's no trick. The Thunderbolt is very real, as are its capabilities. But how? Demanded a serpentine creature, its scales shifting colors in agitation. You were nothing but primitives mere decades ago. It's not possible to advance so quickly. Sarah smiled, a hint of pride in her voice. You underestimated us. Humanity has always thrived under pressure, always pushed beyond its limits. While you mocked us, we worked. While you laughed, we learned. And now we stand as equals. The council members exchanged uneasy glances. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted dramatically in a matter of hours. Zixnox finally regained his composure. You deceived us. You presented those outdated ships as your best, only to reveal this Dreadnought. Michael's eyes hardened. We presented exactly what you expected to see. Your own prejudices blinded you to the truth. A small gray alien, the same one who had watched the humans suspiciously during their first appearance, stepped forward. Its large black eyes seemed to hold a glimmer of respect. I warned you, it said, its voice surprisingly deep for its size. I told you humans were dangerous when underestimated. Their history is filled with examples of this. Sarah nodded gratefully to the gray alien before addressing the council again. We came here in peace, seeking cooperation and mutual respect. Instead, we were met with mockery and disdain. The Thunderbolt is not a threat, unless you make it one. The council chamber erupted into chaos. Some members called for immediate action against the humans, fearing this new power. Others argued for caution, wary of the Thunderbolt's demonstrated capabilities. Amidst the uproar, a holographic message appeared above the central platform. It was President Elena Vasquez, her image larger than life. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, her voice boomed, silencing the chaos. I speak to you now as the leader of Earth, and as a representative of humanity. All eyes turned to the imposing figure. The U.S. Thunderbolt is not a weapon of aggression, but a shield of protection. Earth seeks not to conquer, but to cooperate. We have shown you our strength not to intimidate, but to earn the respect we deserve. Her words hung in the air, heavy with implication. We extend our hand in friendship, Vasquez continued. But know this, gone are the days when humanity will bow or scrape. We stand now as equals in this galactic community. The choice of how we proceed is yours. As the hologram faded, the council members looked at each other, then at the human representatives. The mocking laughter was long gone, replaced by a mix of fear, respect, and uncertainty. Zix, his voice subdued, spoke for them all. "It seems we have much to discuss, representatives of Earth. Perhaps it's time we start anew." Sarah and Michael exchanged a victorious glance. The first battle had been won. Humanity had earned its place among the stars. But they knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge, building a true partnership with the galactic community, was yet to come. As discussions began in earnest, the image of the thunderbolt loomed large in everyone's minds. The galaxy would never be the same again. The grand hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement. Hundreds of alien species from across the Milky Way gathered for the annual meeting. Tall, tentacled creatures mingled with short, furry beings. Some floated in anti-gravity bubbles, while others slithered on the shiny floor. In the center of this cosmic circus stood two humans, Ambassador Sarah Chen and General Michael Rodriguez. They looked small and out of place among the colorful array of aliens. Sarah fidgeted with her suit, while Michael stood rigid, his decorated uniform a stark contrast to the flowing robes around them. High above, on a raised platform, sat the council elders. These ancient beings represented the oldest and most powerful races in the galaxy. Their eyes, some glowing, some multifaceted, all turned to the humans as the meeting began. "Order, order," boomed Zix, the head of the council. His voice echoed through the hall, silencing the chatter. "We now welcome the representatives from Earth, the newest addition to our galactic community." Sarah stepped forward, her voice steady despite her nervousness. "Honorable Council, we thank you for this opportunity. Earth is eager to contribute to the peace and progress of our shared galaxy." A ripple of laughter spread through the crowd. Zix raised an eyebrow stalk, amusement clear in his voice. "Contribute? My dear, what could your primitive world possibly offer us?" General Rodriguez clenched his fists but remained silent. Sarah continued, undeterred. "We may be new to interstellar travel, but humans are quick learners. Our military." The laughter grew louder. A tall, blue-skinned alien interrupted. "Military? You mean those tin cans you call spaceships? I've seen better technology in children's toys." The humans' faces reddened as more aliens joined in the mockery. "I heard they still use combustion engines," one shouted. "Their weapons are based on gunpowder." "Gunpowder," another added, triggering more laughter. Zix raised a hand, quieting the crowd. Now, let's not be too harsh. I'm sure Earth's military is quite impressive for them." His patronizing tone made it clear he thought otherwise. General Rodriguez stepped forward, his patience wearing thin. "With all due respect, you underestimate us. Humanity has faced countless challenges and always emerged stronger." A serpentine creature near the front hissed in amusement. "Strong? You can barely leave your own solar system. What threat could you pose to anyone here?" The council elders exchanged knowing glances, clearly enjoying the show. Zix leaned forward, his multiple eyes glinting. "Perhaps the good general would like to enlighten us. Tell us, human, what great military might does Earth possess?" Rodriguez opened his mouth to respond, but Sarah placed a hand on his arm, shaking her head slightly. They had their orders. Earth's true capabilities were to remain secret, for now. "We were still developing our fleet," Sarah said, choosing her words carefully. "But we're quick learners, as I said. Given time." "Time," Zix interrupted. "My dear, some of us were exploring the stars when your ancestors were still swinging in trees. You'll need more than time to catch up." The hall erupted in laughter once again. Sarah and Michael stood there, enduring the humiliation, their faces masks of forced politeness. As the mockery continued, a small gray alien in the back of the hall watched the humans intently. Unlike the others, it didn't laugh. Instead, its large black eyes narrowed in suspicion. It had studied Earth's history and knew one thing for certain. Humans were at their most dangerous when underestimated. The meeting dragged on, with more condescending questions and barely veiled insults thrown at the Earth representatives. By the time it ended, Sarah's diplomatic smile was strained, and Michael looked ready to punch someone. As they left the grand hall, Michael muttered to Sarah, "How long do we have to endure this?" Sarah's eyes gleamed with a mix of frustration and determination. "Just a little longer, General. Let them laugh. Soon, they'll see what humanity is truly capable of." Little did the Galactic Council know, far away in a hidden shipyard orbiting Jupiter, the final touches were being put on a vessel that would change everything. The U.S. Thunderbolt, Earth's first true interstellar dreadnought, was almost ready, and when it was revealed, the laughter would stop. The stage was set. The galaxy's mockery of humanity was about to backfire spectacularly.